Kelly the Roman Warrior, Part 2, The Plauges of Gaul. Chapter 6, Meeting with Chief. After a few hours more runing, they had made it to the village St. Leonis had talked about. It was a big village surrounded by a big fence made from wood and sticks, and there was a gate, and Salandoris went up to the gate and knocked on it. "Hello? Is anyone there?" And suddenly the gate swung open, and inside there was Gaulish warrior standing on a shield carried by two more Gaulish warriors. "Yes, I am here. Welcome back to our village, Salandonis. Is this the people you have brought back to cure the bad plague?" "Yes, it is." "Och." And so the man said, "Hello, travelers. My name is Chief Vital Statistics, and this is my warriors, Asterix and Obelisks. And also the druid, Gefafix. We will all go to my hut and talk about what we know so far." "Och!" replied Kells, and so they walked to the chief hut for the meeting. The chief hut was very big, and it was made of massive stones with sticks on top, and on two walls was allot shield, and sword and skull of oxes and wild boars as well. Inside was a capel torch flicker ring on two walls, and so they went it in. "So what can you tell us about the Palgu?" said Darkalua. "We think it came from the north on Gaul at first," mentioned Getafix. "All of the plants was being poisoned. We sent a few warrior to inject it gate, but they never returned." "That is bad." "Yes, it is. Now we don't know what to do." "If we could bring back a sample of the Palgu, could you do some study on it? Maybe?" "Yes, I think I could." "Och, we will go and do that!" shouted Kelly. "Och, but in sending my two bestest warriors with you. They are very power, and some bad stuff could be out there." "Och, we will go with you," mentioned Asterix. "As long as I can bring some wild boars," yellows Obelix. And so they set it off. Chapter 7, Search for Clues. After a few hours of walking out of village, they came to a pulse where all the plants was dead, and it was a foul stench in the air. "This must be the place where the Plauges has striction," said Kells. "Och, we need to split up and look for any clues about this evil plague." And so they did. Kelly went in with Dracula and Obelix. Eldrond goes with Minotaur, and Cyrus, Titan Skahum was team up with Asterix and Salandonis, and the last team was Boudiquois and Ilkis. "All meet back at the village on sundown," yellowed Kelly. "Och," they said, and so everyone set off. First, Kells and Dracula and Obelisk decided to go and look around it for anywhere that a evil cold be hiding. Soon they did find a large bulk cavern. Maybe a bad wood hide in a cave, spat Darukal, and so they did on go in. Kells lighted a torch, and they saw a lot rocks and some bat on the ceiling, but not much evil. But then Obelix was leaned onto a rock, and suddenly they heard a loud click, and the back wall of cave slide open with a clicking nose. "Oh no!" shouted Olbix. "Look, the cave!" And the cave went much deeper than they thought. "Should we go and look?" "Yes," said Kells. "There may be some clue in there." And so they went down into Depper Cave. This cave was very cold, and the walls was damp with something. It was probably water, but maybe it was blood instead, shivered Kelly. In the middle of the second cave there was a old abandoned cauldron and calderon spoon, and a old shelf with some bottles on it. "All these bottles are empty," said Arvelix suddenly, and Dracula and Kells went to look at the cauldron. It was made of gold with inlay of skulls on it, and smelled faintly of dark stuff. It looks like this cauldron might have been used to brew plague," mentioned Dracaca. "Oh, the dryad Gefatix use a cauldron too," whispered Oakalix. I think we need to have a word with this get-a-fix, relied Kells, and so they took the skull Alcodron and head out of Dark Caven. Chapter 8, The Creepy Forest. Meanwhile, Minotaur and Sirius Black and Elrond were investigating nearby forest. In was a drac forest with many mushrooms on the floor and big bulk trees, and some green smokes was trailing around bottoms of trees. They was searching for clues, and Sirius Black had found some footprints on the floor nearby. There was much foot, maybe 200 foot or more, and Minotaur said, "But who would live in spooky woods?" Suddenly Elrond saw a evil red eyes out of behind a tree in the distance. "Look over there," he yellowed. "I think Emine's is approaching." Sure enough, suddenly from out of tree came a band of orcs. It was 5 orcs with 2 hands-dead axes on their backs. "Quick, hide!" whispered Sirius, and they jumped behind a big flallen log for hiding. The team watched as orcs walked past, and Elmdorn notched that they all hard big tattoo of evil red eye on their foreheads, and was covered in nasty plagued boils and sores, and their asks was drip with a green plague slime as well. Suddenly the orcs stopped moving, and the lead orc sniffed the air. "Well, well, what do we have here?" he exclaimed. "I smell some fresh victims for the master plague." "Oh no!" shouted Minotaur, and he jumps out of tree. "Go, my friends, warn Kells and others about what happened here." "Are you sure?" mentioned Sirius. "Yes," relied Minotaur. "No, go, before there is not time." "Thank you." And so the Elrond and Sirius Black jumps out of bushes and runs away back to the meeting palsy. Minioator charges the bad orcs, and he got 2 of Bochertorns and kicked a thrid orc in the face, and it fell down dead. Maybe he cold win after all? But then the leather orc got his massive 2-handed Plauges dripper axe and swags it higher and higger into the air and cut off Minoator's head with a single swirpe. "Ha ha! Pathetic fit!" laughed the orc boss and licked the blood off his axe. He also kicked the dead bodies off other orcs. "They were too weak for Master's army. Only the strong can fight for him." "Yeah," laughed the other orc that had survived. "Now we must go tell Master about the intruders that escaped." Chapter 9, Bat-Tail at Sludge River. While Elrond and Minotaur and also Sirius Black had gone to the spooky faucet, Asterix and Tutankhamun and Salandoris went to nearby river to look around it for clues. At the river, the waiter had been turned horrid drac color and was gone all nasty and slidgy, and there was some poisonous gases coming up off from the water surface in a big column. "Oh no," said Tutankhamun, "what happened here?" "I don't not know," replied Asterix, and so they look around some more. Soon Salandoris find a lot dead fish on banks of river. They had been killed by evil Plauges, and so he calls to the others, "Come and look at this, please." And so Asterix and Titan's Janum came and looks at dead fish as well. This is very bad," Mayenton Asterix. "The plague must be spread faster than we thought." "Och, we must go back to meeting place for telling the others." "Good idea. But as they was about to leave B-side of river, suddenly a massive crash nose came from the water. Oh no! A huge Plauges crocodile leapt out off river and onto bank with a splash. It had green scales cover in slime and silkage, and aslo some mosses on there, and it was gnarling its teeth very loud. Gnarl, gnarl, gnarl! And then it lunged its massive jaws onto Titan's cannon. At the last second, he blocked with his stave. Ah! Shouted Salandoris. Crocodiles don't not live on Gaul. What is this evil? And then the crocodile swept its spikety tail around it and struck Tutankhamun on the legs, and he started to bled blood onto the floor. Just then Asterix pulled out his magic poison and drinks it suddenly and got the super strength. And he got his power fist and punches Dial right on top of its spiny nose hard. Gnarl went cross-eye Dial, and it slash with huge claw, but Asterix punch claws as well. And then he did final punch onto Crocodile's body, and then it was defeated. That was close. Whispered Slanadoris. Yes, said Tutankhamun. And then he looks down at his wound. It was bleeded quite badly. Meanwhile, Asterix was looking at body of Dilo, and he saw a color maked of black metal around neck of it, maked from black iron, and on it was painted a evil red symbol of a eye or something like that, and attached to it was key made of sliver of red metal with bit of bulk metal mixed into it as well. This might be useful. And so he grabs key. Ugh, we better get Tutankhamun back to healing him. And so they did not set off for the meeting place. Chapter 10. Teams meet up. The final team of Elkis and Boudicca was also sketching nearby arena for some clues as well. They was loking around a moorland with stone and fions and some spiky bush, and Aslo the skier had turned grey and it was strat to rain. For a while they did not find any clue, and Elgis started to talk to Boudicca. So what he brought you back to Roman, Boudicca? It has been a long time. I hard come from a message sent in the night about a dark plauge that had happened on Gaul. It say that many Gauls had died, so I decided to go to Roman to look for answers. I hope we can find a cure to save the world from certain death. Me too, replied Elkis. It is good to meet you again when we are not fighting on enemy teams. This time ye. Yes, it is, Elkis, said Boudicca. Caesar was a strong enemy, and he managed to defeat the Celts in battle with your help, so we called not take Roman. Yes, he did. You was also a strong fighter. It is good to have you with us. Thank you. If Kells is even half as strong, we can stop this plague together. And now they had reached end of moors, and there wasn't any more to look into. Oh well, I hope the authors have some more clues. Me too. And so they headed back to the meeting place. At the place, they was the last four arrive. They met Kelton Oblix and Dracula, who was carrying a school cauldron under his arms, and also Sirius Black and Elrond, but Minotaur was not there. We are sorry, Minotaur was killed by strange enemy orcs, said Sirius. He scarificed himself to stop them. They were very scared and dangerous. Also, there was Tutankhamun and Saladorians and Asterix, but Tutan had been very bad scraped by some beast. It was a massive crocodile guarding an evil river, yellowed Asterix. We found this key, but for now, we must get him back to village for medicining. Good idea! We can talk about a next plan there as well, said Kells, and so they all set off, back to Geolish village.
I don't know about you, but I love this story. There's something so just infectious about its enthusiasm to tell a rip-roaring adventure, and I am absolutely down for it. I want to say a huge thank you to all of my incredible Patreon supporters who made this exhibit possible, particularly Xana Zira, Zachary Snowden-Smith, Break System BSE, and Michael Fattori. If you want to see your own name up here, it's as little as $1 a month, so head over to Patreon if you want to support the show. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and thank you for being you.